We're recording. Good morning, Sue Oliver.
Hi, morning, Martin.
And I'm very jealous of your background there. It's a little bit sunnier than mine.
Yeah, well, keeping the old well-being and a healthy mind, it is nice to come outside and try and do a bit of work outside now and again. So I thought I'd bring you out.
It's a bit early for a gin and tonic, isn't it? Maybe not
Just a
these
bit,
days.
yeah. I'll never get anything done if I start that. So,
Where are you? Where are you living?
we're based in Queensferry.
And you live there as well? You live locally?
Yeah. We're local to the area, so it makes running the projects a lot easier as well because I think people know us. So that's
Yeah. Well, for
helpful.
people who don't know you then, Sue, who are you and what do you do?
Well, I'm Sue Oliver. I'm one of the 3 directors at Rainbow Biz CIC, and we're a local Flintshire-based community interest company, social enterprise, who supports some of the most marginalised members of our local community.
And in the last 9-10 weeks, however long it is now, how have you managed, work-wise and personally?
So work-wise, it's been very difficult,
Yeah.
extremely difficult. One of the most difficult times ever in the sort of 5-6 years we've been going. The whole ethos and idea behind our social enterprise is to combat isolation, ironically, and bring people together. Some of the most vulnerable people that you can think of. Our enterprise likes to bring those people together in projects, socials, gatherings, and it's just been horrific. So that's the sort of project side of it, where we run a weekly gardening project called Digging D-Side.
Digging D-Side, sorry.
D-Side, yeah. And that's a community-based social gardening project based in Connors Quay, where the allotments there at Mill Lane. And we basically, as I say, we bring some of the most isolated, lonely, vulnerable people together just to do some gardening. But more importantly, it's about the socialisation. We offer a light lunch, so we eat and we have loads of cups of tea and everything together. And although it is in the outdoors, and that gives me an element of hope in the current situation that we may be able to work out a way to move forward with that. It's going to be challenging to start that up again. And then the other weekly group that we run is an arty folk and friendship group, and that was based above our shop in Mould, and in a very small enclosed area, because that's all the space we have available. And that is, I can't even begin to think how we're going to tackle
Yeah,
that.
social distancing, I think it'd be pretty much impossible there, or very, very difficult, unless you do like a 1 in, 1 out or something. With the Digging D-Side, what's gone on with that in the last couple of months then? Has someone been able to go along and tend to the allotments, or?
Yes, we've had some volunteers who aren't so vulnerable and very healthy, and one in particular, a young man, Isaac, who's a carer in the community. So he's still going out to work, and he loves the project. So he's been going up there with his family members that he's living with, and tending to the land and trying to do weeding. We have been to visit in strange hours because I'm having to isolate due to health. So we're trying to avoid other people at all costs. So it's been so challenging for us and quite frustrating that we can't do what we usually do. And then incredibly, just a couple from the community got in touch through our Facebook page and said, "Hey, we see that your allotments are getting overgrown, and do you want us to do a bit of weeding for you?" And we were like, "Yes, please."
Perfect.
So
What a lovely thing to do.
we've never even been to the project, and they just want to support us by doing a bit of weeding, and they've been planting up some bits and bobs and sending us photos. So we're keeping everybody up to date online with our Facebook.
Yeah, I noticed that.
But it's not the same. It's not the same.
I was going to ask you that because you're very active on social media and online, but obviously a lot of these people, this is a huge part of their routine. It's almost the most crucial part of the routine is seeing you guys week in, week out, or day in, day out. Are you managing to keep in contact with those people? Because there's dozens and dozens of people you help, or more.
Yes, yeah, and as I mentioned, some of them are the most marginalised members of the community. So some of them don't even possess something like a smartphone, you know, some of them have older phones that they can just about make a call on. So that has been incredibly challenging, because you've got to remember not everybody is able to access online.
No.
Majority of the people that we support have got carers and are able to access our online social medias, and so we've been putting up photos and little short videos about growing things and just trying to keep everybody engaged as much as possible. And we've also we've been doing for the last 2 months regular Friday night socials at 7 o'clock, which initially were just for people that we engage with through Rainbow Biz and people we support. However, they felt they wanted to open it out to more people. So it's been lovely, because I've had family members and friends join us, and we've had people join us that maybe live in Scotland. And
That's good.
we had a lady the other week from France, which was,
Wow,
you know,
really?
yeah, we know her, and she's been along to our shop, but yeah, she just popped in from France. It was amazing. It was wonderful, and that just keeps everyone quite engaged and active. So that's every Friday. We're doing that for the foreseeable future at 7 o'clock.
On your Facebook page?
So it's on our Facebook page, on the main Rainbow Biz Facebook page. You'll find an event for that you can find all the joining details. It's through Zoom, so it's very accessible. But for those who are not online, they were our first and foremost worry and concern. So we've got a bit of a spreadsheet going where we keep a record of who we're contacting and how they're doing, more importantly, and how often we feel we need to stay in touch with them. So we're going back to basics. We're making telephone calls, which takes an awful lot of time, and I think we've forgotten how time consuming some forms of communication are nowadays. So but very worthwhile. It's alerted us to a couple of incidents where we've had concerns about individuals, and we've acted upon that and made sure they're okay, basically, and thankfully they are. So we're very cautious about people's mental health at the moment, particularly people we're supporting.
I think in the last few weeks, there was never a novelty with this, but I think it was almost like adrenaline that the first few weeks you kind of got through, and now people are just, because there's so much clouding of the issue across the border and in this country, and we're still not sure when we're coming out of lockdown in Wales. And if you're self-isolating as well, it must be difficult to try and make plans for the future of the organisation because of that uncertainty.
Absolutely. And something I haven't mentioned amidst all of this is the hippie shop in Mould.
Yeah.
So as a enterprise, to sustain ourselves, you know, under our own steam, so to speak, and not rely heavily on funding, we have a hippie shop. So 100% of every sale in that shop goes towards the projects that we run. So it provides equipment for the art group and equipment for the gardening group, you know, lunches every week and things that cost an awful lot of money, all the running costs that we need to cover. And the shop clearly has shut. It's a retail outlet, so that was one of the first things we shut. Well, we kind of shut down very early. I think the 16th of March, if my memory serves me right, and that was because we just had huge concerns about these vulnerable people we're supporting, and the shop attracts vulnerable people too. So it isn't just shoppers. We'll get people that want to come in and just have a chat, and they see it as a safe place to go in Mould, where they can go and chat to Sarah, who manages the shop, and know they'll feel welcomed because they know about our organisation and what we represent, and the fact that we exist to welcome everyone from every protected characteristic. So we've had to close our sustainable arm, if you like, and that has been really worrying as a director of the CIC. It's been a real tough time, but we are looking to the future, following the Welsh Government announcement that possibly retail units may open in 3 weeks. We are now looking at how to reorganise the shop in such a way to make it safe for the staff and the customers. And that's undergoing. We're in the midst of that currently. But prior to that, I've spent the last several weeks doing lots of online training. More online training. I mean, I dream about SEO now, and I'm currently revitalising, should we say, our current websites.
Right.
So we have 2 websites, like an information site for Rainbow Biz the Enterprise, and we have an e-commerce website for the hippie shop. So I'm doing a huge amount of work. I have been over the last 8 weeks doing lots of work on that to optimize it, to make it run better, to make it more attractive for online sales. And we hope to have a nice marketing push on that in the forthcoming weeks to promote online sales.
You've got 4 or 5 or 3 or 4 strands of social media as well, haven't you? They've all got their own. There's the Rainbow one, and they've all kind of got their own strands. So managing that and keeping yourselves up there.
Trying to juggle all that as well. I mean, that's ongoing. Generally, it's Sarah and myself who administer all the social media channels. So we always have that challenge, no matter what's going on in the world. But I think it's been more important recently for those online to keep the information going out there for people, but with the added challenge of having to phone maybe a dozen people as well, or message them individually. Some people are online, but they don't want to get involved in a big group chat thing. They're not confident with that, so they're happy to chat one-to-one with Sarah and I. And that's really nice, because we're getting maybe a little bit more time with people when other people aren't around. So that's been interesting as well.
Good. What about the government support? Have you had Welsh or UK government support through any of this? Have you eligible for anything?
Yes. I mean, we did receive one of the cash grants, and we've been accessing the furlough scheme for staff. I think short term, that's been really reassuring. It was slow coming through, so that was a worry. But I have to say, I don't know if I'm allowed to plug them, but the Steve Morgan Foundation.
Absolutely, yeah.
They were incredible. We approached them before we knew about any other grants and anything coming, because we just thought, oh my goodness, we need to try and secure our future. How are we going to pay the bills? What are we going to do? And almost immediately, the Steve Morgan Emergency COVID Fund flashed up. So we put in our application. The guys there phoned us, spoke to us about our worries and how they could help immediately with very, very short-term issues. And they did. And it was incredible. It just helped me sleep a little easier.
Yeah.
And then obviously the government funding started to filter through, which of course, took longer, because they're trying to support hundreds of thousands of people and businesses. So I appreciate it was a huge challenge for the government. But yes, the funding that we've accessed is helping. It's given us that bit of breathing space immediately, just now, for the next month or so. Moving forward is going to be the tricky time, I think, for people like us that have to trade to generate their income. And we're in an environment where it's a gift shop. It's not a food shop. It's not an essential item. Or some may not see it as essential, but I can't live without incense, I've got to say. So, we're hoping that customers will come back and people will feel confident enough to come and shop. And if not, they'll shop online with us. So ahead is still very worrying times.
But it's more than, I mean, yeah, we talk about the food and the things we use day to day, but in terms of people's mental health and that routine and that safety and that safe haven, it's more essential than anything, you could argue, What about you personally? And so you're self-isolating for your health as well. So have you got family around with you there? Obviously you've been busy with training as well. You said you've been training. Are you doing anything else? We always talk about people doing more baking, more reading, more gardening, or whatever. I'm
absolutely incredibly lucky. I live with Sarah, my wife, who's actually my colleague, one of the directors of Rainbow. Yeah. So we're constantly talking about work as well as life. And our son, our 18-year-old son, lives with us too. He's been incredible. He's had to stop college work at College Cambria, doing an engineering qualification, and he's continued with that online, so that he's completely self-isolated for me, which I'm very lucky that he's willing to do that. So I feel very safe in my little bubble at the moment. Health-wise, yeah, I've got a few underlying issues with health. I've got MS. I've had cancer last year. I've got asthma, which is my biggest worry.
Yeah.
But I made the conscious decision that to combat that, I was going to start to run.
Okay.
Started couch to 5K.
Well done. Fantastic.
I'm now on week 7, I believe. I ran the other week, last week, for 20 minutes without stopping. Well, ran,
Well done. Fair play.
I jogged.
Mm.
20 minutes, and this is someone that used to get out of breath walking down the street. So it's been incredible, I've got to say. I just feel so much healthier. So that's been lovely. At home, we had a plan already for this year to plant lots of our own fruit and vegetables. So our garden is lush with everything at the moment. I've been doing a lot of gardening, cultivating our own food. We're literally just plucking bits of lettuce and eating.
Wow, brilliant. Could probably do with a bit of rain at some point. I'm not wishing it on us, but
I think Wednesday it's coming.
oh right, okay.
And then yeah, the online stuff. So I'm a bit of a geek, and I just love IT and technology. So I started the Google Digital Garage, which I think I'm about 70% of the way through. But I tapped into a lot of the Business Wales courses, which have been good. The webinars.
Yeah, they've been good.
That particularly around marketing and SEO. Wow, Martin, I don't know how you do it. It's marketing.
I know. I try and stay away from some of the marketing stuff and stick to the PR and the social media, because it's a minefield, isn't it? And it's changing all the time, obviously. But more things like this, more than ever, we've shown that we can work from home, and online and digital more than ever is vital, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think it is very important to remember that not everybody's there yet, though. And that's,
oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
For us, because we're supporting people and we're trying to engage with some of the really difficult people to connect with out there. So yeah, it's about making sure you're mindful of that as well.
Absolutely. Well, I'll let you go and enjoy the garden.
I've got some work to do, bit of
SEO. Yeah, you're gonna go and do some work.
More website stuff. Yeah.
All right. Well, stay in good health, and you do amazing things over there, and congratulations, and keep it going. And if I can ever help, just let me know, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Martin.
Take care. See you soon.